What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we've got a familiar face with us today. a quick reaction after the Manchester derby. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends and family, comment, let us know what your thoughts are on the game. Yeah, hopefully in the next video I'll try and I'll reply to a lot of the comments, or I'll try and respond back in my next video. Welcome back, Ade. Welcome back.
Great, man. What a day to be welcome back, to be honest. You could have called me back on another day.
Yeah, I know, but I just wanted to get you back on just for today. But we start with like because I'm not sure if you watched my match prediction going into the game. So my thought going into the game. So I did a bit of research. I was looking into like our last 10 games with C, just the league. And one thing I noticed is the common theme is that every time there's a lot of goals, we tend to lose, because what it means is City just clear it off us. But when it's a low scoring game, if it's 1-0, 0-0, 2-1, is either we draw the game or we win the game. So that's the common theme going into like the derby. So in my head, I thought, because of the state that they're in at the moment, we can possibly nick a draw out of there. So I thought it was going to be 1-1. If anything, maybe 2-2 if there was goals. But yeah, none of that happened. So what was your thought going into the game?
You know what? I think I actually, we do that prediction thing every week. I think I actually predicted 2-2.
Okay.
The thing is, back in the day, I'm very simple. If I think one team's better than the other, I think they're going to win, especially if they're at home. But I kept telling everyone this week, I wasn't going into this game scared. And I think that's a combination of City not really being in form, and also the fact that we've beaten them like in a few games in the past, like 4 or 5 games, we've managed to get something from them. So I wasn't too worried, but yeah, it didn't turn out that way. But I definitely thought we could nick like a 1-1 draw, 2-2. I didn't think they'll beat us this way.
It's funny you said that, because we didn't actually speak about obviously our prediction before the game. But if you watch my match reaction, that was exactly my thought process as well. I went into the last 4-5 games. I think we beat them twice, including the FA Cup, or whatever it is. So there were tight games. So it went. So that's why I thought it would have been a draw. And because of the current state of City, I wasn't going into the game scared. If we were playing like an Arsenal or Liverpool or something, maybe Chelsea, I might be a bit more fearful away from home.
Not even saying they're not better
because of what they've been like. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, they're clearly better. They're a better team than us. I'm not saying they're a better team than us. Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, and I think that's the best way to describe how I was feeling. I wasn't fearful of the game. I was looking forward to the game, thinking that we can potentially get something out of this game, depending on how we perform on a day. Having said that, the match itself, I don't think City performed to the best level, and they got 3-0 out of it. I got what I want from the game. It was a bit nervy from both sides the first 5 minutes or so. Both was giving the ball away. And then it seems like we slightly settled into the game a bit more. And this has been happening all our games this season. It's just in the final third, the passes are just always either behind the player, or it's too much power in it. And they are obviously training with each other. Obviously, yes, a lot like the forward players are new players, and you just started playing together. But I thought it would have picked up by now. The first couple games are obviously giving it the benefit of the doubt, but it's still the same thing. That because we got into like key positions that we could have created something or even scored a goal if anything, but the passes are just never right. And everyone is not one individual player that you can say he's always this guy.
Yeah, it's a shame, to be honest, because I think even from the first game of the season against Arsenal, like in my mind, we're almost there. Like this attack clicks and it could be dangerous, especially with Cunha and Mbemba. Obviously, Cunha's out for a while now, but I literally look at that attack and I'm like, this is close. But actually now I'm not sure we've got the depth to even make a difference if people get injured.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the. It's just for me. I just thought it would be different in this game. Like this is the 4th game of the season. Because what I was seeing, it was just passes in behind each other, putting too much passes. Just think it just something weren't clicking anyway, and it's still not clicking within the forward players.
To be honest,
and it doesn't help that
don't finish. Then the ones that like it's either one or the other. It's either we don't get a good pass or we don't get a good finish. It's just crazy.
No, it's crazy game. But in general, what's your thought on the game itself and how it planned out?
So it just took me back to the days that it was just a dead cert that they were going to beat us. I don't think they blew us out of the water. Like it's not one of those games that we look back and say this is men against boys, but clearly they know how to do things at the final third, which we aren't doing. I think the first goal was always going to be important. So when they scored first, I was like, oh, they scored first, but I wasn't too worried at that stage. Once they went 2-0 up, I knew there was no chance for us. And the thing is, we're still creating chances, but we just don't put them in the back of the net. I think Mbeumo ultimately is our biggest threat. But our midfield still is just lacking. It's lacking because as much as we say we can score goals, there's a counter-attack option, but without that midfielder that needs to come and help us control the middle, it's just going to continue happening. And look at what City did. They just packed the midfield. They were like, these men have 2 in the center. We're just going to take control. And I think we're susceptible to that all the time. Overall, like I'm not too disheartened. Obviously, you don't want to lose to City and you don't want to lose by that scoreline. But somewhere in me, I've got a bit of hope that once things click, if they click, I say if they click, that we'll go on a bit of a run. That guy might even be able to cut his hair.
Oh yeah, that United fan that's got how many games did he say? 5 consecutive games?
5. I don't know what he was thinking, so it might be a couple of years still, but
yeah. I think I agree with pretty much everything you're saying. Look, the midfield, I think going into the season, we all knew like the midfield area was a concern. But I think because of how much we can spend, we are obviously restricted in terms of like the cash. And if I had to pick one at a time, and I still wouldn't have changed my mind, I still would have picked a striker ahead of like a midfielder. If I had to pick one, but I went into the season accepting the fact that we're not going to be able to control games. My main focus was, can we create and can we score? And I think if you can do those and do it well in majority of our games, we will get the points and results we want. And we just need to get into some sort of rhythm. But games like this, our lack of activity in the midfield is going to be glaring. It's going to show because one, they got like better midfielders than us. Secondly, when they do pack that midfield, it's just our midfield is pretty much redundant, and especially when we do win the ball back and we're giving it away so easily with the likes of like Ugarte, there's not much we're pretty much non-avoiding that position at the moment, and it's never great when it comes to like controlling games.
But we did have some of the ball, which is the crazy thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting to, because it's funny how like they just sucked the soul out of the game, because when they got their goals is when we was having some small sort of control. Like same thing with the first goal they scored. What was the second goal again? Was it the Haaland free ball? Which one was it?
Yeah. And then the dink over.
Yeah. Second goal was free balls. Yeah. So a lot, like when they score, every time they score their goal, and even the ones that they missed, that's when they was in control of the game, and then they just end up missing the chance. But when we were in control, we had like moments of control of the game. They hit us in the transition, and the first one, I know a lot of people were trying to blame you, sure, but it's just a great skill. If he touches him, he's fouling him. It's as simple as that.
That's pure. What's short? Like sometimes we have to accept that the bigger man he's faster than him, he's stronger than him, he's bigger than him.
Yeah.
What was he really going to do in that situation?
Yeah. So that one was gonna. And we had chances. Great save by the keeper. That Donnarumma save was something else. Yeah, because the burn was, and that's what gives you that the glimpse of hope. And if it does click, because you see moments like that from Mbeumo, and then even some of our build-up play. But what's letting us down at the moment is when we do get to the final third, when it comes to like, okay, the last pass to create the chance, or when we do eventually get the last pass to create a chance, can we finish it? That's where we're struggling. Because
that Dorgu cross foot that Ahmad tried to bicycle, I thought that was amazing with his left foot. I thought that was absolutely amazing. In another world, I would have thought he should have taken more time because it was pretty much by himself. I don't know why he tried to do a backflip to score.
Yeah, I don't know. Even I think I messaged you when it was 3-0 down. Obviously, the game is done then. We still had a couple more chances. I know we've lost the game, but I just want us to get goal. Like, we need to improve our goal scoring record.
We need to get used to scoring goals.
Exactly. And that was my point. I know that we've lost the game, but we just need to get used to scoring goals. It needs to become an habit for us. I don't want it to be some sort of a chore for like the players, like to put the ball in the back of the net. I prefer that than if we concede a lot. I'll prefer scoring a lot than conceding. I don't mind even if we concede a lot, because it's just who scores more in the day. We can fix that later. We can always fix defensive issues later. We can fix like the midfield issues later. Get a better,
as long as we're scoring, right? You take a 3-2.
Exactly. If we're not scoring, all of that. Even when we get the best midfielders in the world, get the best defenders in the world, get the best goalkeeper in the world, if we're not scoring, none of that matters. And that's where obviously it now goes back to the manager. Every time we lose a game, you know what's going to happen. There's going to be more pressure on the manager. I'd done a video earlier on this week just clarifying my position with the managers, because what I don't want to do is every game having to like reinforce where my position is, having to say what my thoughts are on the manager. I don't mind criticizing the manager. Like if like today, I think I messaged you, like I don't understand why you always need to make substitution for defenders. That don't really make sense for me. Even when we was losing 2-0, taking off a pacey defender to bring on Harry Maguire, knowing that we're trying to change the game, didn't really make sense for me.
Harry Maguire is our striker, mate. He's our striker. Yeah, you're forgetting.
Yeah, so that one
forward.
So he doesn't help himself, doesn't cover himself with any glory. But what's your stance on the manager? Because I said I done my video. My stance stays the same. It's like I just want to see it. Unless we are in the same position that we are in last season, where we're fighting for 15th. I want him to see the season through. As long as we're in the position where we're still competing for the 5th to 10th position, let him see the season through regardless. That's where my stance is. But if we are 15th, struggling to win games and so forth, then if they have to sack him, sack him. And just also to clarify, I said that this is not me saying people can't feel how they want to feel. If you think he should be sacked, that's up to you. I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to defend him. Like, if you look at the number of games he's won, it's ridiculous. His stats is not good. It's not covering him any glory whatsoever. So everyone can feel how they'll feel. But what I don't want to do is every single game having to come and say, 1 minute sack him, another minute let's give him a chance. I'm not going to do that. If they decide to pull the trigger, they decide to pull the trigger. But my stance is give him the season. So where do you stand on the manager?
So what I'm trying to not be is one of these reactionary people. So like before today, Man City were done. They were over. Pep was done. He was over. They win today. They're back. And it's just, one game against Man United has changed the whole world. So my view with Amorim is that he needs time, right? He's just bought players. We've given him a load of players that I think are very good players and should make a difference. But on the flip side, I'm not ready to give him too long. Like, I'm happy to maybe go up to December, but he needs to show something by December, right? It makes no sense. The same way when we backed Ten Hag, it didn't make sense to get rid of him straight away. I think he needs a run of games. But if we cannot win back-to-back games by Christmas, then really where are we going to? So that's just the way I view it. It's like I had big respect for him before he got to United, since he's gone to United, his results have not done anything to, I guess, to encourage me about his ability. Because no matter what I think about the individual, you need to back it up, and he hasn't backed it up.
Yeah.
So I said, I think, cool, I'm not going to start screaming Amorim out. But as I said, if we're not winning back-to-back games by December, then we've had more than enough time to maybe suggest that he's not the one. But I'm hoping things will change. But I'm like, give him time, give him a couple of months. Let's see what he can get out of it. And I'm not even trying to say you need to be top 6, but we need to be consistently competing. And that's what I want to see.
Yeah. That's totally understandable. We'll see where he gets us anyway, because look, next week it's another like big task. Got to play Chelsea at home, which is, if anything, losing this game puts a lot more pressure on that game. Yeah. A lot more pressure you would expect. Now, I'll be honest with you, I would want to win that game. I wouldn't want to draw from the game. I would want
to have to win it.
Yeah, I will want to win that game. Let's see how they perform next week in regards to this week. It's a weird game. Look, we lost 3-0. I don't think it was a total dominance, but they were very clinical. We was sloppy. They went sloppy, and even if they were sloppy, we didn't capitalize whenever we should. Yeah. And that pretty much summed up the game. In terms of like winning the game, like, I don't think they are their best. Obviously, people are going to go away and take this game as if they've returned back to their best. I don't think this was the typical performance we're used to seeing from City. But what they've made sure they did, especially in games like this, which I'm a big advocate in big games like this, it don't really matter how you play it sometimes, but just get the win and just move on with it. 3-0 at home to United, knowing that you've got Arsenal away from home next week. This is the confidence that they may need, and let's see how they get on next week. That's pretty much that's how I see this game anyway. Obviously, the fans are going to react. There's going to be a lot of noise, more pressure on Amorim.
There's going to be lots of noise.
Back next week, at least. The only good thing is he's got a whole week to. What do you say?
Yeah, he's got a whole week to prepare, right?
Yeah, the only good thing, he's got a whole week to prepare. Let's see what we get out from them this week. Just a quick one on these like starting lineup. Were you surprised to see Ugarte play? Because I thought Maina and Casemiro was going to play, and I'm not too sure why. I'm not in this camp of that, Maina must play, because when Maina does come and he doesn't show me anything that proves that he must play all the time. But I thought today was the right time to use him and put Bruno in the number 10 position. What was your thought on the starting lineup?
So I'm not going to lie. When I saw it, I didn't think Bruno was going to play number 10. If I was going to play anyone, it would have been Ahmad. So that was me before the game. But now that the game's happened, I'm like, actually, Ahmad and Mbeumo are like for like. So if you do want them, they should be playing on that right. So I think in hindsight, I would never play both of them as the number 10s. So Bruno should have moved further. And in terms of Ugarte, I don't think it's in a game like this that I would have played him. I think a game like this in the middle needs a lot of intelligence, footballing intelligence, which I don't think he has. He's more of the run, tackle, like physical. But I think we needed someone a bit more intelligent, which I think Maino could have given to us. But yeah, at the start, I thought, I don't mind this formation, or this team sheet, but actually in hindsight, I think you're right. I think Bruno would have worked better as a number 10.
Yeah. Well, look, it's all done now. What I'll try and do, if I can get you back again next week, is nice to have a quick match reaction in regards to the game. Maybe next time we'll do an overview of.
Maybe like an hour to calm down.
No, you know what? I didn't want to do it immediately, To be honest, I wasn't like mad at the game. I wasn't like, I didn't think the performance deserved something for me to be like throwing my toys out. It wasn't that type of performance. I thought they'd done the right in bits, but it's just weren't. Obviously, ultimately, it's not good enough. And if you're not going to be clean and cool, you're going to get punished, and that's exactly what's happened today. So it's not a game that I'm going to overreact.
You can't compare it to the past. You can't compare it to the past. It's nothing like those past games.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those. It's just a scoreline that I didn't like.
Yeah. Look, we got another tough task next week. We'll see how we get on. Thanks again for jumping on. We're trying to see if we can get you on next week. Have you been seeing my fantasy stuff? Are you going to jump onto like one of my fantasy
yeah, for sure. You know me, I like wild.
Yeah.
I like the wild moves. That's how you know.
I'm going to try and get you on.
You know I'm not using AI because I'll be using wild things.
Yeah, now I'll try and get you on one of the fantasy videos. But thanks again, bro. Appreciate it. Thanks, people, for tuning in. If you can please subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so you know whenever we upload onto the channel, and also comment. Let us know what your thoughts are on the game. Where do you think we lost the game, or who could have done better? What is your thoughts on the manager? Now I'll try and reply back on the comments or the next video I do. Thank you. We out.
All right, cheers.
Peace.
Bye.